I like the intro and the outro songs now, so, forgive me if I was dancing a little bit. But what is going on, everybody? I see you, Roster. I see you, Amy. I see you, Wit. And I see you, Akeem Hope. How are you? How are you? Well, today we are gonna be having a lot of information about gaming business. And before we get started, I do want to say a happy early birthday to one of our OG members in the house, Rouster. It is his birthday this weekend. So if you get to see Rouster at all this weekend, wish him a happy birthday. Maybe even play a little bit. I would, but I'm going to be out of town. I do come back on Tuesday. I actually was not supposed to be here today, but some people canceled something and blah 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 blah. Blah. But and now I'm here. So yeah, but of course, Roster, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Um, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about a few things. Roster, you actually inspired one of the segments today. So I do want to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, hopefully everyone's doing well. Today we have a ton of news, right? I think last week I didn't really have that much, or 2 weeks ago I didn't have that much gaming news. This week I do, especially in the realm of business. Um, so I'm excited for that. Also, we have a couple of game trailers. Well, we have like two that we've not shown before, and we have one that we have shown before. So we have a couple of game stuff, couple of features, couple of things going on. But yeah, I feel super special to inspire Frosty. You inspire a bunch of them. Um, so yeah, we have a lot today. So far I've been playing should come as no surprise. We'll talk about this in a little bit later on in the show, towards the closer to the 9 p.m. slot. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about Karma. So the actual game launched. So intent that will be one of the trailers we show. Uh, and I am getting really excited for South of Midnight, which will be launching next Thursday. So we might be showcasing that on a Shades of Purple. Also, was playing a lot of 33 Immortals. So if you came by on Saturday and did our playthrough, that's what I was playing. I've been playing a lot of that. A little bit of Assassin's Creed Shadow. So I'm not gonna say a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadow, but a little bit of Assassin's Creed Shadow. And yeah, that's what it is. I had Orcs Must Die loaded up twice over the last 48 hours, but I did not get to it. But that's what I've been doing. Hey, Eniok, what's going on? What's going on, Eniok? Y'all, Eniok, great content creator, playing Mother. Playing Mother. I actually have Eniok in the background. Anytime I see us streaming Eniok. So thanks for coming by. But definitely go check out her stuff. Great content creator. But with that said, let's jump into this. And we're going oldie but a goodie. I've never heard of it. I never heard of it, her Mother. But I also am not like a handheld gamer. And I feel like that one's more like handheld gaming esque. So but that's super cool. Super cool. As long as people are gaming, as I say. So yeah. But with that, I have a flash from the past. All right. So be warned. Some of y'all have seen this before. But I don't know. Y'all know you come here and I give you my best interpretation of the business landscape and my predictions and everything that's going on. So without further ado, let's see if you remember this one. This hit. Here we go. Let's go to the next one. All right, so this one is gonna probably not be a surprise to people. But if you are coming from the X Defiant community, it definitely won't be a surprise to you. If you haven't been following this company, yeah, maybe it is. But I think we see Ubisoft a major restructuring within Ubisoft, whether that's a buyout, whether that's a mass layoff, I do not know. But I think 2025 is about the last iteration of Ubisoft as we know it. With that said, I'm going to go out on a limb on this and say I think Assassin's Creed Shadows actually is meets expectations, if not surpasses the expectations. I think at the end of the day it will be seen as a success. But at the same time, I believe the Ubisoft is going to either have to spin out a couple of their studios that are under. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so if y'all do not remember, I did my Shades of Purple, Purple Haze gaming predictions for 2025. And so that was 3 months ago during Shades of Purple, episode 122, as you can see there. And you can go check it out. I did not edit it whatsoever. And I have a couple of little updates on that. All right, just a few updates, not a lot of updates, but a few updates. And the first one is let's start with this right here. And we'll talk about it in a second. But there we go. Assassin's Creed Shadow, 3 million players within 1 week, second highest day one sales revenue in Assassin's Creed franchise history. Biggest Ubisoft day one ever on the PlayStation Digital Store, so that's pretty big. Biggest community ever, best community ever with over 4 million hours already played. So lots of hours in Assassin's Creed Shadow. Obviously, by no means like we've seen this not necessarily hold to things such as Black Myth Wukong or Diablo or Call of Duty or any of that. But as far as Assassin's Creed go, it does seem like it's holding its own. So kudos to the Assassin's Creed team over there. Another one. I know, Envy, you're loving it. But also, if you remember, there's two parts of that prediction, a two-parker. Marketing spin. Sure, Jeff. But there we go. Ubisoft, 4 billion carve out sells Tencent at 25% stake in some of its biggest games. So there you go, 2 parts. So that was a 2-part prediction. Both parts came true. But let's talk about this, right? So a lot of people have been talking about well, not a lot of people, but uh Ubisoft has been under some financial distress for a while. Some people were saying it was going to go bankrupt. Some people were saying it was going to sell out. If you caught the last part of there, I tried to cover all my bases by saying it would spin out part of it, and that's actually what it did. So let's talk about what actually Ubisoft did and what they did not news. Huge news, I know, really big news. And this is actually really interesting from a divestiture standpoint of things, and I'll explain why. So imagine one company, Ubisoft, and they basically put some assets over here, some assets over there. They decide to make two different entities, two separate companies, put it out in the market. That's what they've done. So they've created one entity on this side that has, as you can see, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. So all of the stuff there, all in one entity. Tencent has invested an additional $1.3 billion into this new entity, which is actually 25% of this new entity. Now, that's really, really important. And we'll get to that here in a second. And then all the other assets as of right now, and I do want to emphasize that because I think you could see more of this happening over the next year. All the other assets, so the ones I really comes to my mind are things like Ubisoft Montpellier. So that's the ones who do like uh Raymond, Valiant Hearts, those groups, as well as like some other games. So think about the Pirates game, uh, all of that. Think about the Avatar game I was just playing. All of those types of studios and all those games, they're over here. Now, this isn't unprecedented. This is the time I think back for when a company did this recently was with AT&T. So if you wanted to read about how this might play out, go read about where AT&T spun out their Warner Brothers. So yes, that Warner Brothers, the ones that own HBO, used to be part of AT&T. AT&T had a ton of debt, and so they decided to like spin this out. And so why would companies do this? And the reason companies do this a lot of times have to do with cutting down cost. And but the way they're going to spin it is they're going to say stuff like, hey, we are going to focus on different strategies, right? We're going to have like one management team focused just on the games or the assets in this part of the company. In this separate company, we're going to make its own company, and another management team focused on the assets in this part of the company. And that's what you see here. I think we could all agree that Rainbow Six, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, probably all are a little bit less family friendly than some of the other Ubisoft IP. And so I think you see kind of that, like the bifurcating of those two entities. You could probably push the envelope a little bit more over here, but as a one company, you're kind of constrained, and you're holding up some of this other IP. So think of Prince of Persia. You're trying to like compare a Prince of Persia to like a Rainbow Six, and that's just not necessarily fair to a Prince of Persia. So by separating these two, they have their own like lanes, they have their own strategies. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be layoffs for both of them. So what this also means is there's going to be a more streamlined process. What is going on, Obi Rose? It's going to be a more streamlined process for both companies. Do I think it's going to be successful? I don't know. If you look at AT&T Time Warner, for sure the AT&T part of that has recovered a lot over the last 5 years when they first announced their divestiture of Time Warner. Time Warner has not. So HBO still has a lot of debt, and so much so that they actually merged with Discovery. So that's why you have Time Warner Discovery now, and AT&T are separate. This case, it's somewhat similar, but the new entity has Tencent investing 25%. So Tencent already owned about 20% or 15% of Ubisoft, the entire entity, and now they own 25% of this new entity. And why that I said that was significant before, besides giving, inserting $1.3 billion worth of liquidity in this new entity, that $1.3 billion actually values the new entity at a higher valuation than Ubisoft as a whole. And so that's really kind of interesting. That means that they think that this Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six has like the magic sauce. Like that's 80 to 90% of the value for Ubisoft. That's what that means. And everything else is going to be interesting to see. So, how it's going to play out, I don't know. Sometimes we've seen this, and companies will put all the valuable assets in the new entity and all the assets that they hope to eventually wind down in the old one. I've seen that sometimes. I don't know where this one's going, but the prediction was a restructuring. You see a restructuring. We're going to have basically two different companies, two entirely independent companies, both still owned by the I forgot can't think of their name right now. It's still owned by the same family, but they are two different companies. So that is pretty big news. And let's see what Holtz has to say. Purple, I'm not happy with the Nintendo Directs. My understanding of them bringing in virtual. We're going to be talking about this, Holtz. We're going to be talking about this. Will remove game sharing across to devices. We'll be talking about that, Holtz, because I'm curious what you think about it. But definitely. So big news from Ubisoft. And like I said, we'll see what it means. But Ubisoft, as we know it, is not the same Ubisoft. They will be two different entities going forward. So more than happy to talk about this if it's something that you want to talk about, you're still confused about. Ultimately, though, I think it's the right move. I think Ubisoft doesn't necessarily have as much debt as like an AT&T had, but they definitely have a lot of operational inefficiencies that potentially splitting up the company like this will be able to streamline some processes, potentially being able to bring some games to market faster. So that is that. But that's not the only thing we have at Ubisoft, right? So probably the biggest news, even though this is big news, probably the biggest news happened a few days ago. And that was the burn heard around the world. So I do want to talk about this really quickly. So this was Elon Musk on his platform known as Twitter or X. I guess his platform known as X, not known as Twitter. And he was responding to this other guy named Grums, who's like, I don't know, really negative Nancy guy. And they were talking about this guy named Hassan Piker, who's was part of the Young Turks, very liberal, progressive podcast. And Elon's basically saying Hassan is a fraud. Sellout would be more accurate. Objectively, he's promoting a terrible game just for the money. And then Assassin's Creed, their actual media handle, their X profile, Says, "Is that the guy? Is that what the guy playing your Path of Exiles 2 account told you?" So pretty big burn. A lot of people were making a big deal out of how many people liked Elon's comment versus how many people liked the Assassin's Creed comment. Some people are even accrediting this to like pushing Assassin's Creed player count to over 3 million players. If you're not keeping track, Elon Musk a few months ago had said was at some ridiculous level in Path of Exiles 2. Uh, and then gaming personalities across the internet, both supporters and non-supporters of Elon Musk, said that that didn't sound right, and they kind of called him out on it. Elon eventually, about a month afterwards, said, yeah, he hadn't really played the game that much, and admitted to that. But yeah, that's where Assassin's Creed went for the jugular, and they did it on the X profile or on X. And so, yeah, take it for what you will. Ultimately, I thought it was pretty interesting because Assassin's Creed is definitely, they've taken a lot of hate over the last 6 months, 7 months in particular. And so, right now, this week, Jeff would say it's some marketing spin. I'm saying that it's not the disaster that some people were painting it out to be. Next on the Assassin's Creed, but that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. And this is another article. If y'all have not been able to, this is shout out to Wit for sharing this earlier. So this is Assassin's Creed. A lot of people have been saying how Assassin's Creed has insulted Japan. This was a Japanese writer who lives in Japan and really talking about how the Japanese view Assassin's Creed and where the criticism really is. Surprise, surprise, or maybe not surprise, surprise. It's not really with Yakuza or with the other protagonists in the game. They just were trying to say that there should be some respect to their shrines, and that's kind of where the criticism of the game ends. Nothing about the male player or the choices you can make, and so just trying to like set it straight. Coming from a Japanese writer, I know we do not hear that much from Japanese writers, but I did want to include this as to kind of give some more balance to that conversation. So thank you to Wit for sharing that. So yes, Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft, Tencent, lots of stuff going on with Ubisoft uh, over the last week and a half. And hopefully we wish them luck. Ubisoft, I still Prince of Persia was my game of the year last year, and I played Valiant Hearts. I forget which one. It was the Valiant Hearts with the Harlem Hellfighters in it. I played that earlier this year. So I am a fan of Ubisoft. Not their biggest fan, but I am a fan. All right. So that's what we had. That's what we have with Ubisoft. Now I forget what I named the show, but I did name the show some other stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit more finance stuff, business stuff, corporate finance type of stuff. And this one was actually a headline that came out, I believe, yesterday. And Rouster actually inspired this one with a question he had. And so Discord, yes, that Discord, the Discord that we use to chat a lot, the Discord that has really been kind of the backbone of a lot of gaming communities. I have a Discord. A lot of people have a Discord, servers and so forth. They are thinking about doing an initial public offering. So being able to sell on, I think most likely the NASDAQ stock exchange. And I just want to talk. So Rouster was saying he asked the question if he thought this was a pump and dump. And I didn't really necessarily think it was a pump and dump. It is something I find interesting because to me, I don't know how much money Discord actually makes. And that's something that both the people like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan are for sure digging into quite a bit. For me, I would think that if Discord did have if they had positive cash flow, so that means if they were able to make money, I would think they would make a much more better target for like a private company. Ads are coming to the mobile app, maybe, but I still don't understand how that actually pays off. I guess that's my biggest thing. I don't understand how adding ads to just an app one app at that with a certain segment of the population, how that turns into tons of revenue. Sure, they have a lot of daily active users, and I could see them trying to monetize it from that. I'm just not sure if that's going to be a successful IPO. Like I said, I feel like this would be a better buyout target. So from a bigger company, think like a Microsoft would probably be my immediate one that I would think of. I could kind of see Amazon maybe getting in that play. I don't really see Google making a play for something like Discord, but that's my just the way I think of it. It wouldn't be the first time a company's kind of hinted that they were going to do an IPO just to try to raise up their price for another party to try to buy them out. But it is something to be worth looking into. I'll be very curious as this story continues to unfold. How much is Discord actually what are their plans, right? Because if you're telling me their plans are just to become putting ads on their app, even with their Nitro subscription, I just don't know like if that's a long-term play, especially with each of the other major console platforms, which we're going to be talking about one in depth here in a second, kind of having their own robust communication platforms. But again, who knows? Xbox has kind of outsourced it to Discord as well, and so has PlayStation to a certain degree. So who knows? Who knows? But I thought it was interesting. Thanks for Rouster for the question. I do not think it's a pump and dump, even though institutional investors do currently hold the debt in Discord currently. It very well could be a play that works out in the long term. So we will be keeping our eyes on this. We will know if they decide to do an IPO before they actually do an IPO. So if you wanted to participate in that, you will have the opportunity to participate in that. It's quite easy, even though I have little interest in stocks and Joe. My brother invests, and I was a financial analyst. I think he helped people. He helped people invest. A financial analyst, for the most part, would probably be on the team. The way I've seen financial analysts in this situation, they've been on the teams to figure out how much Discord is worth. So that's what usually happens during an IPO. The investment bankers get in there and they figure out every single asset and debt Discord is worth. They price the company at something. It goes to the auction. It goes public, and then people can buy and sell the shares at that price. And depending on what that price is, it'll either go up or go down. So we'll see. Hey, Rudix, what's going on? So yeah, just talking a little Discord. Talked a little bit Ubisoft earlier. Talking a little Discord now. Wasn't too much on Discord, but I did think this is interesting when it came by. Yes, it's when I saw it was yesterday. I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know what his actual title is, but he has his Series 7. Okay, then yeah, if you have a Series 7, then he could, if somebody wanted to participate, they would definitely talk to him. Series 7, Series 63, all those great financial planning certifications. So that is Discord. Another rumor that's not in the title, but it is definitely a rumor that I wanted to hit on before we jump pretty deep into Nintendo here. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was this, which is this is a sweet screenshot of what the new Xbox UI will supposedly look like. This is a mock-up. So I do want to let people know a mock-up does not mean it is actually in production. It is just that. It's a mock-up. It is something that potentially could look like, and it is something that uh is like a concept at this point. And so the biggest thing on here isn't necessarily the thumbnails or anything. It's directly what that arrow is pointing at, and that is a Steam tab. So the rumor here is that Xbox will have a Steam tab within their UI. Now, I think I'm neutral on this. Hey vet, what's going on? Phil Harrison sent me here to see if Discord is dead. Did he? Is he over there? Is that where Phil Harrison landed? I actually know someone who just got a job there about a month and a half ago. But with Xbox in the UI, I am neutral on this. I have no necessarily one way or the other. Like, I think personally, this is a mock-up, and as someone who's seen a lot of mock-ups, this is just like, yeah, that could sound great. I mean, just from a user journey perspective, the tabs aren't like necessarily organized correct, like parallel. Like you have Game Pass, Steam, like those two go together. Installed, owned, owned again. Like it just seems like this was just they put something there, try to get some opinion and some feedback. And does FCAT know this is Xbox UI isn't real? I do not know. I do not know that. But the fact that you have two tabs that say owned makes me kind of like, yeah, it probably should have not been leaked as much. I wouldn't be surprised if there's numerous of these mock-ups up there. What I will say is I think that they're probably preparing for integrations to app Steam on the Xbox UI. But anytime I see something like this, I'm always like, does that would that make sense? Would Steam want to Steam would probably want to be there. I'm not sure if Xbox will want Steam there. I'm also thinking like potentially they just misspelt the word stream and instead wrote Steam. And so I think this is just more smoke and mirrors. If I had a guess, I don't think Steam is coming to Xboxes anytime in the near future. But I know a lot of people have been circulating this and getting really hyped. So if that's you and you're really hyped for it, I don't necessarily know how this would work out to tell you the truth. But yeah, if it's something you're looking forward to, I guess I'll entertain it for now. Fake news, Vet, you're saying, yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying it's a mock-up. So mock-ups in general are I wouldn't say mock-ups are fake, but I would say mock-ups shouldn't be taken as a final product. It is kind of just that. It's a mock-up. So we'll see what comes out of this and where it lands over the next 2 years. Steam on a console is called SteamOS plus Steambox. Steambox. They do have Steambox coming out. But with that, we're about to get into the juicy part of the show, or at least for me. So y'all know I am a huge Nintendo fan. Let me not say it like that. I like Nintendo. I think Nintendo is kind of the goat when it comes to gaming companies. And so if you think of that as a huge fan or not, I don't care. I just it is what it is. Amy, thank you for the gifteds. Woo woo. Let's see if we know. We know a lot of these people. Nate plays games, Banana Killer, Rudigs, Patrick, MJ Dark, iconic video games. Oh wait, all these people are good people. Pure Skill. Awesome, awesome. Jason Portillo, Snipes, 936, MJ Dark. A lot of great people over there receiving gifted memberships. Thank you to Ambi. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ambi. Always, always the great supporter you are. So, with that said, yeah, let's switch over to Nintendo. So, before that, today Nintendo had a direct. They made it perfectly. They mentioned that they were not going to talk about Nintendo Switch 2 games, even though I think they kind of broke that in a way. But they did talk about a lot of stuff. And Holt, I am curious, about uh why are you upset about Nintendo? So the first thing we're going to look at, and I think this is kind of one of the things I thought was super cool, what's this? So I do have videos here. I do have videos. But here we go. The first thing that I want to talk about is this one.
With game cards, you can put a game featuring Mario in this Nintendo Switch system and a Legend of Zelda game in this one, freely inserting the games you have on hand into any system you want. But what if digital games could be as flexible and convenient as game cards? Well, here's what we came up with. Introducing the Virtual Game Card. In the future, virtual game cards can be used for digital games. When purchasing the digital version of a game, it will be loaded onto your system as a virtual game card, allowing you to play that title. Your digital games will be lined up as virtual game cards on a dedicated management screen. Here, you can load and eject your virtual game cards and manage which games you can play on your system. If you have two Nintendo Switch systems, you can eject a virtual game card from one and load it onto the second. Now you can play this game on the second system wherever and whenever you want, just as if you had inserted a physical game card. With virtual game cards, you can freely load and arrange which games you play on up to two systems. Local communication with your second system is required, but only the first time. You can also lend out virtual game cards to your Nintendo account family group members. Connect to your family group member system via local wireless when you want to lend a game. Choose the title you're lending and who you're lending it to. And you're done. They can now play on their own system. You can only lend one game at a time to a particular person. Games can be lent out for 2 weeks, after which they will automatically return to you, making digital games even easier to use. Virtual Game Card.
So that is the digital game card, right? So I think, okay, so I've been seeing you hold here. Let me pull that off. Oh no, let me do this. So I see what your comment is. So to me, I thought that that was a pretty cool thing, right? Because I'm not I don't think they're saying you can't do the physical side of gaming still. Like maybe that is their point and you can't do physical after this. But what I would think is that the digital game card is just allowing you to take a feature that was physical and applying it to the digital only titles, right? The thing I don't know if is that's just for Nintendo, like Nintendo IP, or can I do that with um all sorts of IP, right? So, for example, like Gorogoa, that's a game, it's a puzzle game I really like on Switch. Could we do that for Gorogoa? Could I like lend someone out digitally a copy of Gorogoa? I don't know. Like it's gonna be interesting. We'll know in a few weeks, right? But where'd my check go? Meh. That's like meh. I got 100 Switch titles, and it only worked by doing primary and secondary sharing across family. You could share the library, and now it seems to be taken away for a PC approach. What do you mean by a PC approach? By doing primary, you could share that library. I guess I'm gonna need you to come on holds eventually when we talk about it. Because for me, like what I see there is like I have a Switch, and let's say I wanna like lend something out to my brother. Not that he plays on Nintendo Switch, but let's say he wanted to do that, right? I could, hey, Lens, what's going on? Um, Lens, what do you think about this one? 10 like hype. Whoop whoop. Y'all, Lens of Truth, great content creator, great artist as well. We're just talking about the Nintendo Virtual Game Card. So we're getting mixed results in chat right now. I thought it was a cool thing, but Holtz could convince me otherwise to think it's not as cool as I think it is. To me, it's just an added feature. Like if someone else wanted, like if I wanted to test out a game, like someone could be like, "Hey, I have that game here. You can borrow it," and then I could like play it, and then I'd be like, "Okay, either A, I beat the game, or B, I'm like, yo, I want to have that game for myself. So, great examples Mario Wonder. I do not own that game. I played it a couple of times. But if I like wanted to sit down and really like play it and give it a shot, like someone could lend it to me and we could go that way. But maybe I'm wrong. Currently, I could make your Switch a secondary device to my account, and you'll have access instantly to my game library. Interesting. So you're saying you could make I could make your Switch a secondary device to your account. But but when I log on to my account, will I have access to your games? I guess you're right. I guess you're saying you're right. No? Okay, so Linz, what am I? Oh, okay, okay, okay. He is all right. No, yeah, Linz is always so you saw but Holtz is saying we could already do that before. So you're all saying this is a nothing burger. It can only be done from the same network. Both switches need to be on the same network. The first time, right? They said that the first time. And then you have to be next to each other the first time. And then they're saying like you don't have to be there. Like, yes, when you physically like lend the game, you have to be there the first time. But are you all saying that didn't they say they'll only need to be together initially? That's what I thought, Roster, but it seems like we're getting something going on. I don't know. It's like Netflix, sorry for sharing then. It's like Netflix. Is it? Because like Netflix password sharing, you could create like a Netflix family account. I can have like four, depending on the Netflix tier you have, you can have different accounts under the same Netflix plan, right? What am I missing? Yes. Yes, if my account was set as a primary on a secondary device, you could access all of my library. This console experience has been there since the PlayStation free generation. Nintendo is changing the rules. How are they changing the rules? It says it. Hey, Cold Blood, what's going on? We're talking about the Nintendo thing. And some people are saying it's cool. Some people are saying it's not cool. Y'all, Cold Blood Sensei was watching them play a little bit of Assassin's Creed on, I think it was Sunday, Cold Blood. I think you were playing it that day. Monday, Sunday or Monday. You were playing one of those days. It's going to probably will be easier to understand once they didn't play. Roster is it? They've made it confusing. That's what I thought too. It seems like this is the stepping stone to eliminating physical copies of games in the next generations. Potentially, I don't know. I don't know. I think Nintendo will always have some form of physical. I think this, but I don't know how this is a stepping stone to eliminate them if they're saying that the process already existed to do this. Or maybe they're just saying now Holtz does not need to have a secondary account on that Switch, right? Like it's like Holtz doesn't need to be the secondary account on my Switch now. That's the only thing I can think of why it starts to act a certain way. I could also start to see how this is like works for like backwards compatibility. I don't know. I don't know. I could also see something like where their cloud infrastructure doesn't allow them to do it one way versus the other. I don't know. But if y'all are telling me it's a step backwards, I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna be interested because I initially had a positive point of view on this, but my mind could be changed. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, but that wasn't all. That wasn't all. We also got some other stuff today. Um, and so here it is. Here's like the actual screenshot. Purchase digital game and load it as a digital game card. Load digital game on a second system and can load up to 2 systems, can lend out games up to Switch family group members via I thought that was cool. I thought, but the Holt is telling me they could do this already. The first time they have to be local initially, Holtz. They have to be local initially. Right? I don't know. I don't know. I think we're gonna have to see it. I think we're gonna have to see it, Holtz. And you're gonna have to come on the show here in about 20 minutes to explain your point of view. Cause we're going to the next thing that we saw in the Nintendo thing. So Nintendo wasn't just that. I think this next one is what I thought was interesting to me. So here we go. Y'all are gonna be like, purple, that's lame. But here we go.
Hello, I'm Shigeru Miyamoto. Thank you for watching today's Nintendo Direct. Since 2011, Nintendo Direct has delivered Nintendo news directly to you. And now, these presentations have grown into an event that many people watch.
Oh,
Thank you all very much. We'll continue to broadcast Nintendo Direct presentations, but we're also launching a new channel based on the concept of delivering information to you directly. This is a smart device app called Nintendo Today, which functions like a daily calendar. In the app, you can view different Nintendo events. We will also be delivering all sorts of content about Nintendo games and characters every day. After the Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch 2 on April 2nd, news about Nintendo Switch 2 will be delivered to you daily and directly through the Nintendo Today app as well. Nintendo Today will be available to download on smart devices later today. Anyone with a Nintendo account can use the app, so please try it out. That's all I have to share. I hope you enjoy using Nintendo Today.
all right. So that was the Nintendo Today app, which, by the way, I've not been able to download. So that's the only thing he said was going to be available today. I tried maybe like an hour and a half ago, and I still couldn't get it. So that's the only thing I'm kind of a little disappointed in. But I thought that was pretty cool. And the reason I thought it was cool wasn't just because it's like, well, purple, we already have like the ability to get that. It's because if y'all remember when Joe, it's just Joe, came on the show, probably, I don't know, it was like probably 2 months ago. It's when I was like doing the videos with Nintendo. We specifically talked about like certain things that Nintendo could do and what they were starting to do. And at the time, we talked a little bit about Alarmo, which I think is back there somewhere. We talked a little bit about Alarmo and like how like that is now taking like health tracking, like sleep tracking to the next level. You already have like something like the Pikmin watch. You already have like Nintendo Fit. You have things like obviously the Nintendo app. You have the Nintendo Music app. It really seems like Nintendo's creating like this network of apps for the most part that really all connect back to your Nintendo account online. And why I think this is interesting is because Nintendo's really at the moment from this is more like a technical or not technical, like more a business lens than a gaming lens, right? You're like, well, Purple, we just want to play games. But I think now Nintendo has the ability, they're taking out like the middleman from their customer. They're saying like, "Hey, our customers, our most valued customers, the ones that like love what we do." And by the way, that Nintendo live stream today had over 1 million people on it, right? So they have over 1 million fans who are willing to watch the Nintendo Direct, which I just think is crazy. Um, so by doing that, hey Rebolica, how are you? So by doing that, they have this direct link to their player. They get to, like, see what their players are actually liking in the news. What are they interacting with? They get to talk directly to the player, right? They're not saying that they're not gonna be on YouTube, but it's something to say like, "Hey, YouTube, tell us like what our audience wants. And now you have to really rely on YouTube and their tools. But if you have people coming to your app, you can really control the experience from there and you can create a more curated experience at that point. It's just like trying to say like where people are like, "Yo, let's interact with Nintendo on I don't know, IGN." Well, IGN actually controls the information, right? And now Nintendo's saying like if you really want to get like the the straight from uh straight from us, here's our app. And so Joe and I had spoke about like this idea that Nintendo's really becoming this um the best way I can explain is like Apple. Like this very much closed garden, but are just adding more and more things to it for you to interact with and really creating a much more curated experience for you the player. To me that's cool because that means that like all right, this is what we know already what they're doing, and if the Switch 2 is like a more powerful Switch, and that they're already thinking about how to link all these things together, that means that they're already like thinking about like the infrastructure to support all this. And I don't know. I find stuff like that unique. Like no other game, in my opinion, other game companies aren't doing that. Or if they are, they're not investing in it. For Nintendo to say, like, yo, this is like a major thing for us, and we're gonna put this part of our direct, to me, it's like, okay, if anybody's gonna try to make this happen, it's Nintendo. And I've said this before that the gaming industry needs to evolve. Like there has to be like some way to either make more money, get more players, or potentially do something. Because right now it's kind of in this, and some people will disagree with me. Jeff disagrees with me. Reforged Gaming disagrees with me. A lot of people will disagree with me, but I've said it over and over. I don't think it's at the gaming industry is necessarily in the healthiest of places. I'm not saying that's all the gaming industry. I'm saying just a lot of it isn't. And so when I see something that they're trying something else to try to connect to players uh directly, that is cool, to me. It's kind of, like, similar to, like, when they first started creating, like, a website. I always thought that was, like, really cool back in the day. So this is just, like, I guess, the natural evolution where they're creating an app. Y'all are like, "Purple, it's just an app with news." I get it, but when you take it in conjunction with, like, the other apps they have and the ability because it's all linked via your Nintendo account online, and you're interacting with this stuff that's very gaming centric, it all like goes to combine to create potentially a very unique type of experience just for you. And then when you start to think about like what can they do when they say, "Hey, we have Purple who likes this, 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 and this," potentially there's a way that now they can create experiences. I'm not saying games, but experiences that are very curated to you. And I think that is cool. Hey, Granite, what's going on? We saw Robolica earlier. I'm getting confused about system names. What system names? What? I'm totally down for Nintendo today as I'm happily read my phone notifications when an article drops. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I had to change the difficulty for 9 so yeah, he did, but he beat it. He did beat it. I only played a few hours on Tuesday, granted. So yeah, I do think you're right, Rabalica, that right now there is like Nintendo Music, there's Nintendo Online, there's Nintendo Today, there's Pikmin, there's the We Fit. Like I do think like that's probably if they can get this to work, the next iteration will be to really do make that like a more closed and unified ecosystem. But I think it's cool that this is what they're doing, and we're starting to see this network of devices, right? Central to the Switch, secondary is your phone, tertiary is potentially like the Alarmo and whatever else they can create. This family of devices that really almost gamifies your life, which sounds like a bad scenario in like a sci-fi movie, but I think your life's already gamified by certain people, and I would rather Nintendo have that than maybe, let's say, and Amazon have it, and Amazon sell it to, like, the highest bidder, right? At least I know Nintendo's like, "Yo, we're gonna use it for our products." I think Amazon's gonna be like, "We're gonna use it for, like, you bought this, now we're gonna sell this to, like, this other company, and this other company is gonna know you're pregnant," or something. Like, I don't know. It just kinda scares me when other people have it. I wonder if the fragmentation of social media puts pressure on companies to be more direct with communications. So, I think I think fragmentation in media. You think media is really fragmented? I would say right now, we're seeing what an algorithm tells us to see, right? And that may not necessarily be what we want to see. And I think once you're already in a system, like for example, if I already go to any site, like retail site that has cookies, like already enabled, like they kind of know like what you like. And so they can curate like, oh, purple's gonna like these types of heels or this types of bottoms or these types of blouses based upon some other stuff. So it can get to me information faster. And through that information, they know like kind of what's selling or not, what's not selling in certain areas. I think gaming has to kind of start moving towards that direction to say like who are our players and these diehard players. Like if I know for a fact I can sell this game, I'll sell 1,000,000 copies of this game because I know my players that well and they're going to enjoy it so much that they're going to stay in that game for whatever time. That's actually probably more successful than saying like, "Hey, we need to sell 3,000,000 copies of this other game." It's not really gonna hit the itch for any of those players, but it's gonna be an okay game. And it's gonna take us like 3 times as much money to make. Well, of course, you want the first one because that's more a curated event and you can spread out your resources to other projects to make it more curated for other people. So stuff like that that I think of that I why I'm like, "Oh, that sounds cool to me." But maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Um Fragmentation, loss of Twitter users, and 3 to 4 replacements popping up. That's could be cool. I'm on Blue Sky, y'all. I like Blue Sky. It's where I get all my journalists are on Blue Sky, and all my publications are on Blue Sky. So I enjoy it. It's a very streamlined experience for me. There are self-care apps that that gamify your life. There are. But I think I'm happy with Nintendo being, like, the number 1 gaming company to do it. Metro Prime 4, I have a Metro Prime 4? I don't know if I have it, but I do have a game launch. I was not really into this series, but here's a game launch, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of this other Nintendo stuff here in a second. Alright.
Congo. I'm a buckle. Tornado da Hanji plus than yesterday. Then weekend.
How refreshing. Hiya. Tomodachi life. Living the dream.
Did you want to talk?
Ah. Glad that was only a dream.
So, Tomodachi Life, I know Cold Blood, I know, but a lot of people like it. It's a pretty big series, and so I'm all for people trying to play games. You know, if that is what you've been looking for, I think it's the first installment in over 10 years of this. It's a lot of people's like childhood, you know, and so again, I am the type of gamer who, as long as you're gaming, right? And a lot of people like that one. A lot of people like that one. So, that is coming out. We did see Metro Prime 4. I was gonna put Metro Prime. I was gonna put that trailer in here as well, but I didn't have anything new on it. I was like, I don't know. Like, I still don't. I'm gonna wait until they give us like official showcase. Um, a lot of other people are really upset because this showcase did not show, which I've been saying this for a while. Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight did not make a scene at this week's showcase. Everybody's pinning their hopes on the next one. I did make a video on this that, I think the only reason I can think that Hollow Knight has not come out with anything recently is because there's something they're waiting on with the Switch 2. That's the only thing is that they have to have some kind of like, I'm not gonna be like time release, but they have to have something with Switch 2 is like super important to their launch. And so yeah, so next week we're gonna see. If you ask me, I've already told you I think Hollow Knight is a scam, but the only exception I make is if it launches with Switch 2. Only exception. Only exception. As the I'm still stuck in no as the Hamachi King from the Nice. Y'all are not. And Inzoi being marketed simmers. The community is split on whether or not to support the new game. Do you support Rebolica? That's the question. Do you support it? Yeah, Hollow Knight didn't show as a hard suck song. So Holt, what are you saying? I'm trying. Hard suck song doesn't have a smooth experience. Silksong will release this year, right after pigs are genetically modified to fly. People Can Fly though. There is a new game coming from People Can Fly. The directors of are the development team behind Outriders, but Pigs Can Fly. I don't know. Hollow Knight's yours, Simpleton. Hollow Knight's your thing. I think you're like the biggest one in the community. Obviously, you have people like Maker of Chaos and stuff who will and probably Rudix. Those types will go at it, but uh from like the older side, you're holding it down for the Hollow Knight. I think for me, I am not so much. I want to get into it. Maybe that's it. Maybe the fifth time's the charm. Maybe a fifth time. I'll give it another shot. I have it on like 2 or 3 different systems now. So Team Cherry, here we come. Might do it. I wasn't a huge fan of the first Hollow Knight, but I know Maker's a big fan. Yeah, like, but I would imagine you beat it, Rudix, if I'm not mistaken. I know Maker, like, yeah, Maker plays everything. Like, like there's no getting around Maker. Like Maker, Squids, like I said, there's like 4 or 5 people that I can just like they know the game. So yeah. Right now I'm going back to typing as my voice input ain't working. Yeah, that one did not work. So I kind of knew what you were saying, but I was like, I need you. You sound like a Nintendo character baffling crap. Like an Animal Crossing character? I can't play Inside as my computer doesn't meet minimum system requirements, but I'm more no side anyway. The Zoys look creepy. Ooh, Rebolica putting her foot down. She's not doing it. Can't fool her. Nope. Once wasn't a fan of the mechanics. I didn't get into it. Yeah, because why you like? If I'm not mistaken, Redix, you really like parry mechanics in your Metroidvanias type of games. That's interesting because Rudix put Nine Souls as his top, like one of his top games last year, and Simpleton could not stand Nine Souls. So that tells you not all Metroidvania players are the same. They're not all the same. I 100% it Hollow Knight, but did not revisit. See, I told you they're like, but they're both Metroidvania fans. It's kind of cool to see them inside on GFN as of right now. Oh, cool. That's why. Look. That's why I'm saying what Nintendo's doing is cool. That's all. I think making something more curated to you, and I get it. It's just a news app, but like I said back when they created the Alarmo. I think it's precursors to things to come. And this is at least for me, I'm really excited to see this new generation because if you think about it, people on Xbox and PlayStation, if you have an Xbox and PlayStation, obviously I have both. The current generation, a lot of people would criticize Xbox and Microsoft and Sony for saying like, "Hey, these are games I can still play on PS4. Or these are games I can still play on Xbox One." But Nintendo, it's like Nintendo really pushed the most out of their hardware, and so for them to do an evolution right now, and from what I see them doing, I am excited. Like I'm like generally excited from like a business perspective, from a gamer's perspective, from an investor perspective. Like I'm excited from everything. So yeah, maybe I missed your commentary. Was there any game in the Nintendo show that excited you? Game wise, no. No, 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 no. No, no. Not from a game. Mostly just from a Nintendo side of things, not from a game. The game that excited me recently is well, it's a long trailer, so I'm not going to show all of the trailer, but Karma, the game played last Thursday, released today. I know Cherry Man got it. Uh Karma released today. So you can go out and buy it. Um, it is better than what I experienced with the demo. It is like truly a cool story. As someone who loves classical literature, so thinking about um, Orwell, thinking about H.G. Wells, thinking about like Kafka, like all those people who like wrote about dystopian futures, all those people who wrote about like the individual versus like an oppressive system. This story that they're forming right now is super cool. And what I like about it is it has this element of AI to it. So it's like very current and just like going in like being able to explore what they're trying to tell in the story. Now, don't get me wrong, Karma is not like the most game intense game like thing out there. But for me, it's always about the stories and what are you trying to tell? And I think what they're saying in there is so on the nose for today, like today's times, that I don't know, like at the moment, it can still let me down. At the moment, I am going to say the story in the world that is in Karma is the best story in world I have played in a video game in the last 2 years. That's all of 2023, all of 2024, potentially 2022, but I would have to go look at those games I played back then. But the story in that game, in the world in that game, and the themes, and kind of like being able to parlay that off of like classical literature in the same genre, in the same vein, has been an amazing treat for me. So Karma is I say I'm excited about Karma. Just so it's one of my favorite genres. You should play Karma, Granite. All right. Do y'all want to see the trailer? You want to see the trailer? It's like 2.5 minutes. That's why I don't want to show it. It's kind of long. I was jumping all over in my live stream. I know, agree. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. So good. It messes with your mind. It does. It sounds cool. What type of game is Karma? My best story of recent times has been Nier Automata. I played it last. That's a good one. But you convinced me. Yeah, so we'll do it. We'll do it. I played it last week, but here's the game. So just so y'all know what you're experiencing, here's the game.
My child, you must take good care of yourself. Go on, you monster, do it!
Dad. Dad, I failed to protect her. I didn't keep my promise. I don't want to stay in this lonely castle anymore. I can't take it. Dad, this is the castle. I feel. I feel. One day.
So it's a long way if you guys want to see it. It's actually so that is you just get you kind of get an idea of the world, the graphics, if it's something you would like. What I'll say about it, so I saw your comment, Granted. Is it based on 1984? I would say it is inspired for sure with 1984. So you have some of the same themes that are going along in the game. So and what I mean by that is that uh you have this like the thought, like 1984 has like the thought police, right? This one kind of has something similar. This one has something similar, like with AI and not the like 1984 is really authoritarian socialism, right? This is really like authoritarian AI kind of. And so it kind of has like this dark bent with like, I guess, authoritarian capitalism. And and so it's interesting. Like it follows this one guy. Like I guess I can tell y'all if you played the demo, Cherry Man, the demo kind of jumps around. So when you play the actual game, the game lays out the story a little bit better. And the story essentially is like you're a detective and you're investigating. You're a thought police detective and you're investigating like a crime. And through investigating that crime, you start to realize something else. I'll say it like that. It's only about 10 to 12 hours. It's about $20. I got it for 20. I'm trying to get some free copies for y'all. But they're trying to do this really big push for it. And I'm not just saying this because like I am a Wire Productions ambassador. It's done by Wire Productions. They're the publisher. I'm saying it because I really do like stories. But I'm being very honest with you. The gameplay in it is not the like sexiest gameplay, like I would say like Black Myth Wukong was like pretty sexy. Um this is not that. This is mostly the gameplay is like puzzles, some like puzzles, and when I say puzzles, I mean kind of like the puzzles from what is that? Resident Evil, where you have to like go do something, then it opens up a door. You have to like go find something to open up like a closet, so, stuff like that. At least in the first 2 to 3 hours so far. But like I said, the story is interesting in the journey you go on. Like I said, it has like that 1984 element of like that. It's probably more related to that kind of dystopia, but you have like very surreal elements to it. That's why I say it's kind of like Franz Kafka and like what he wrote, and where you're kind of like in that surreal and not surreal. And then just because it is kind of like a sci-fi, I throw in H.G. Wells just because I always have to throw in H.G. Wells, but, I would probably say it's probably more like Orwellian and Kafka-esque, in my opinion, if you're looking at all the dystopians. Um, so yeah, so that's it. That's my nerding out on literature, classic literature for the day. But, yes, um, it has my, seal of approval so far. So far, the story is cool. Um, yeah. Freddie my ain't that talking stuff. Is it one of those not quite a walking sim, but really cool storytelling with puzzle elements? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was granted do this. If you want, download the demo. The demo is free. The demo is not going to tell you the story. Like I did not know this, but the demo really just gives you kind of like the first two or so sections of the game spaced out. So like the actual game tells the story. You won't get what I just told you from the demo. Um, but you will get like the game mechanics from the demo 100%. And the demo is like, I would say good like 45 minutes. And if you like it, go ahead and download it. If you're like, I like it, but I don't know if I'll play it right now, you can wait for a sale. Also, like I said, I'm gonna try to get some codes for y'all. But I have to go out of town, so I couldn't bug them too much, knowing that I was gonna leave out of town right away. So, but yeah, I would say it's similar to a walking sim. The puzzles aren't too hard. The chase sequences aren't too rough. The sneaking isn't too bad. But from and you don't have to take my word for it. Like every review on the story would everybody says the story is like top notch. And I agree. I think like the story is like pretty cool. I wish more games did stories like this. Uh Yeah, I think the only other game I can really think of that had a full play story where you had character development like this one was Still Wakes the Deep, but I don't think that was like is necessarily an especially. I thought that was great character development, right? I thought that was great character development and voice acting. This story has really solid literary themes, really solid voice acting, in just like the world they create. That's the best way I can explain it. The world they create, you really kind of get the feeling like you could have read this as a book and it would have been like, okay, that's a solid book. YouTube blocked my last message. Oh, Roster, I still see it. I still see it. I see your messages. I see your messages. So but yeah, Cherry Man played it. I know Decoy said he was gonna play it. But I would definitely say that's it. I don't know how much I can say for it. Like right now, I played Split Fiction. Split Fiction is for sure in my game of the year category. Just gaming, like that's gameplay mechanics. Split Fiction. Story-wise, there's no way. There's no way. Like you have to get Banishers Ghost of New Eden. Like those are like I don't know. Those are telling different stories in different ways. So if you're like a dystopian type and you like if you've read 1984 and you want to get more of that like social commentary, Crazy 1984 was like written in like the 40s, right? If you want that, you have to play this. You have to. You have to. I guess it was too violent. What did you say, Roster? What did you say? Hey, you can't connect with anyone even out of town, just the developers. If I can access apps like Nintendo Today, then there should be no disconnect with us. But I think that's it. I think that's it. I think I went through everything I wanted to talk about. It's at 9:14. Okay, I only have like 20 minutes to talk to y'all today, or maybe a little bit longer. But I'm gonna post this link here. Let me see if I can do that for anybody who wants to join. And then we can talk. And so Holtz, I do want to get your point of view on stuff. Or if anybody wants to talk to me about karma, I'm more than willing to talk about that. So there it is. That's the link. And let me see if I can go find that. Oh, look at Lens of Truth is playing. We'll have to go check in on his Lens of Truth. I don't know, there's like this song that always comes to my head when I see Lens of Truth's name. So yeah, so 19 RR, but with AI, say no more. It's good. I know it's so on the nose. It's so on the nose for today's time. Like the fact of like, it's one of those games. Let's say it like this. It's one of those games that like if you're really into it, like I'm into it, but like if you're really into that stuff, there is so much symbolism that's going on that you could be like unpacking stuff for like a while. Like there's definitely going to be a Reddit community for that game. I'm just saying it right now. Like you know how Martha is Dead has like its own community. Even though I like Martha is Dead, I'm not going to say like there was some elements of Martha is Dead that I thought were like eh. This one so far I'm like, yo, I want to jump in. Like I want to understand this because there's a mystery going on, you know, and I'm a sucker for mystery. By the way, TV show, if y'all want a great TV show recommendation, another just heavy all the way around. Adolescent on Netflix? Gosh, that one's heavy. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, Adolescent's the best TV show ever." No, but I'm just saying, like, heavy. Like, I felt like that entire show was just heavy. Like, there was, like, never a moment of, like, letting up. It's very uneven, experience. But again, I don't know, cinematography in that show is also just amazing. Probably the best I've seen on a Netflix show ever, but different story, different story, different story. Lens, what's he playing? I gotta get my Mario Kart up for Lens's stuff. So when Switch comes out, when Switch 2 comes out, I will be doing more Switch content for sure. 100%. 100%. And I will for sure. I know Rudik said he was only gonna mention it once. He always has to do it. Uh but for sure, by Switch 2, I am going to finish Tears of the Kingdom. Like by Switch 2, I will finish that game. Even if I have to start it over, which I don't think I have to, but even if I did, I will finish the game. And Remy is awake with us now. Uh oh, did you? That's what they're telling me I need to watch. Someone else was telling because I was telling someone about this game. Okay, granted, this is you. This is you. You have to do yourself a favor, granted. Do the demo, and I'm so excited. Like if this wasn't on your radar, I'm so excited because I want you to play like the demo, kind of read some of it, and then like be like, okay, if you're cool with the game mechanic, right? It's kind of that like first person, you're dot in the middle, like you kind of like open things. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. Which really helps in a game like that. Uh but yeah, it's best enjoyed if you've read something like 1984. Best enjoyed. All right, you better start now. I hear June is gonna come faster than is that when it's launching? You're saying June 2-month release window, which would be kind of cool. I am so in favor of like companies saying, "Hey, we have something launching. Oh, by the way, it's not in 2 years. It's like in 2 months." I'm all for that. I'm all for that. So I didn't know it was launching in June. I probably could beat it though. I think I could beat it. I honestly think where am I in where am I in I honestly think it's like a week. Like the way I got into Magic the Gathering like about a month ago, if I had put that towards Tears of the Kingdom, I would have beat it. It's just it's just like I have to come down here. Like I have to come down to my studio to play the Switch. That's where sometimes I don't want to come down here. I don't know. That's just it. Yeah, I only finished Tears of the Kingdom as a swan song to the Switch or an advanced edition on the Switch too. That's cool. I think that's maybe what I'll do, Holtz. I may do that. I may only do it for to say like that's my last Switch 2 game. That may be what I do. Computer. I don't know how I have the cards, Rabolica. I have the cards. I like the art. This especially like this new I say it's new. It's not really new. It came out last year. It's called Bloomborough and it's like these little creatures. And so I have the physical cards, but I play on the computer because there's no way I can keep like I'm good at math, but sometimes it's like there's no way I can keep up with like all the counters and stuff. Even though the gaming it's like a retro video store near my house. They have like a magic club that meets on I think every day actually. But for like a big like I'm not gonna say I'm good. I'm still a beginner. Um like they told me to come, but it's computers easier. I can get into a game out of a game pretty quick. But yeah, it's computer. Like for about a solid like 2 weeks, I was like every night into magic. And so um try and just understand building decks and understanding like different decks and balancing. It was interesting, to say the least. And then there's like certain decks that annoy me. I don't know. Like, I guess I'm more like a traditional player, not like there's a thief deck or what was that deck? I forget what that deck was. It was like a weird deck. I don't play, but the and I will not Oh my god. Well, I have a Ghostbusters Magic the Gathering card deck. Uh, thankfully, someone got me that for as a holiday gift, and so I am there with it. Look, they got me to buy it. Like that's all I'm gonna say. Like they got me to buy stuff. I was like, oh, that looks cool. I want to buy it. Imagine having sex great family members or friends locally. You can share a mass library of games. Can anyone name the experience? Because I feel for Nintendo Family Share. Holtz, come on! Holtz. I don't know what you're saying now. Holtz, get on there because I have no idea what you just said. Um, Adolescence has great acting and one shot. That's what I'm saying, Simpleton. The one shot, like I saw it and it's literally all in one shot. Like, so, y'all, if you haven't seen it, Adolescence, like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it, where the entire episode is filmed in one shot. It's like one take. It's like, we're going, 45 minutes later, we're stopping. That's the episode. And it doesn't just happen like in a, like Reservoir Dogs, right? Or like, what's Reservoir Dogs? What's that really famous play that's only in one place? I can't think of it right now, but it's gonna come to me. Anyway, it doesn't happen something room. Oh shoot, I can't think of it. It doesn't happen like that, right? I'm talking like they're moving all over the town and it's like one shot. And it has like drone, like it's cool. It gives it this like element of realism because of the timing and the acting. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. Nothing really happened. So it's different, but it's 4 episodes and nothing really happened. Yeah, I think it's the subject matter which makes it happy. Yeah, it's not like a mystery, right? It might as well be a documentary. I found it boring. I need Gertrude's phone. Stop it, Simpleton. Stop it. Maybe it's because I like themes, you know. I like things that are heavy like that. I like things that make me think. Maybe that's the difference. Simpleton is simple. Purple is like what shade is it? You know, like I don't know. I play blue. I'm the annoying player. You are. You are Rebolica. If you're playing blue and magic, you are. I play I think my strongest deck is like a red white deck. Um I think I also have like a black red deck. That's right. And then a pure green deck. Like yeah, blue is all about like counter spells and like you're just like destroying like creatures when they come on here. Yeah. And then you throw in like a flying in there. No. No. I'm not into blue decks. You would destroy me. Like I would have to bring out one of like I'm experimenting with a different deck to handle blue decks, but it's only built to handle blue decks. So I'm not anywhere close to how good some of y'all are. Sixth grade family members, family sharing. It took me a minute. Oh, is that what he was trying to say, Roster? I couldn't figure. I was like, imagine having sex with family. I was like, Holtz, what are you saying? You can't have ghost or shit cards as it sounds to as all you need is a good trap card and you win the game. No, it is. I should show you all the Ghostbusters cards. They're not down here. I have them upstairs. But they're not down. But I'll maybe I'll geek out and show you all some of my magic cards. It's really cool artwork. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's confused me too, Roster. Um, yeah, Granite figured out why my playstyle though and can beat me even though he hardly ever played Magic. I have really. Do you play online or just in or like like physical. I don't know what you call it. Not online. I don't know. I play Magic. I guess it's Arena, Magic the Gathering Arena. I think that's what the app's called. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Sex grave. Hold. No, we don't talk about that. That is not Purple After Dark conversation. I wanted to complain about Nintendo. I didn't expect you to cover it, so I didn't set up my PCs. Oh no! I don't know. Chat says they're these words because of voice input. I apologize. I'm not saying this. Yeah, right. Hold. I would imagine you're not saying that. No, no worries. Like I said, I'll probably shut it down here at like 9:40. Uh, I'm like, I have this trip. I got a long flight on Saturday, and so I have to like start resting up like 2 days in advance. Y'all don't think I'm as old as I am, but I actually am. And so I am trying to I'm trying to rest up. So it started yesterday, me trying to get more and more sleep just so I can prepare for the jet lag coming up. It's kind of weird. We play it. I don't remember it being that good. Oh my goodness, that's so cool y'all play though. I have like the only people who want to play with me besides the random people online uh are the guys at the store, and they're all men. Like there's no women. And it just makes me kind of like, I don't know, like I'm not good, and I know they mean well. Like these aren't like, I don't know. They're not jerks, right? But I don't know. It's just like a bunch of dudes, and I don't know. It's not my scene, if you know what I mean. Like I'm just really there to look at cards, and there's a lot of math. Like I like numbers. So Magic has a bunch of numbers. So I don't know. Maybe, but maybe they've said, hey, we'll teach you, which I know how to play, but I don't want to like get embarrassed. You know what I mean? But who knows? Maybe that's part of the journey. Rice. I am Rice. What is he saying? Oh, I know that big old 49 999. You know I like 49. 49 7 squared. I have to like my squareds. You know, it's a good one. 49 does not get a lot of credit. It does not get a lot of credit. It's out there holding the fort down. But 49 is such a cool number. Like I said, it's 7 squared. And the reason why that's like super cool is because it's also like two odd number. It's like two primes. Like seven's a prime number. So like I said, anytime you get in there with the primes and the squareds and stuff, like there's also some other cool stuff with 49. Um, but yeah, I don't know. 40, obviously 49 is not like 9. It's definitely not like 3. It's not as cool as a prime, but it gets, as far as numbers go, it 49 can hold its own. I'll say it like that. Um, that whole sequence of 47, 48, and 49, all of them are cool, right? 47's prime, 48 is like, I don't know. I just always think like numbers you can make squares into are like super cool. So like 12 times 4 is 48. I always like stuff like that. And then you get 49. So it's a great sequence of numbers there. It's great sequence. I can't say that about every sequence, but it's a great sequence. Yes, you are, Roster. Like you're a Prime streamer. Yeah, I'm not on Amazon Prime, but yeah, 49's a good one. Last one before 50. Oh man, jeez. I remember when I was turning 49, 15 years ago. I'm not that old. But yeah. So yeah, I have to rest up for this trip. I'm only there for like 48 hours too. Didn't the 80s tell you to stop being squared? Oh, but you got 9 squared is an 81. You know what I mean? So it can't be that bad. I don't know. 80s are kind of weird. You do have 83. You got 84, and I know I just said everything about, but 21 times 4 for some reason never feels good to me. So that's why I don't give 84 the same love as I give the other numbers I can make like a square out of. Um, 85. I mean, 80s are kind of weird. 80s are kind of weird. At least in the first 100. You think which is surprising because like once you get to like the other 80s, like the 180s, those are cool. The 280s are cool. The 480s are cool. Don't ask me about the 380s, but the 480s are cool. Um, I don't know. Y'all, like I've spent way too much time in front of like number charts. I give like personalities to numbers. Y'all are like, "Purple, that's not funny. That's crazy." I know, but I literally give personalities to numbers and into sets of numbers, into groups of numbers. It's weird. Uh it's hip to be squared. It's hip to be squared. Um there you all go. Like I started something. There, go play with your numbers. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone with my numbers, okay? My favorite part of American Psycho. Purple, why are you in London for 4 years? That ain't enough to print out your Crystal Palace. I am like, let's see. Actually, I come in. No, it's literally like 60 hours. I'll be there 60 hours. Yeah, 60 hours. A lot of people are asking me the same thing. They're like, why are you only here for a few days? And I'm like, because work is crazy. And I don't know. Maybe we'll see. If things go right, I might be in London more often, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm in a weird funk. My outside streaming life is in a weird funk right now. So, yeah. That's why I need good stories like karma. So yeah. I don't know. Someone like my mom would be like, "Go to church." Like, "No, mom. Not doing that." Um Hey, Crow, what's going on? We are just talking numbers, Crow. Talking numbers. Business trips are like that. Just go for the minimum amount of time to get things done. Yeah. When I was younger, I would stay a little bit longer, but now I don't know. I have like Remy, you know, he's just a dog, but he like I feel guilty being away from him too long. Like I have my own place. It's just not the same. Like when I was in my particularly like my 20s, my 30s, I had to travel a lot for work. Um, but in my 20s, I used to always like, I was like, oh yeah, yeah. And then 30s, like, I think I just traveled a ton. And that was cool. It was like neutral. It's like, okay, that's my job. But since my 40s and stuff, it's different. It's like it takes a little bit out of me. Like it's like, this is I don't know. Why am I traveling? You know what I mean? Hey Jeff. Jeff Jeanette. Travel is hard the older I get. I used to travel a lot too, but I've turned down better jobs that require. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like it's weird though, right? Like when you're younger, you're just like, "Oh yeah, it's super exciting." But then you know what I think it also is like when you go to places and you see how it's changed or it hasn't changed and you've changed, there's kind of like uh this weird part of aging that happens. And then you're no longer in it's like what am I gonna go do? Like go out to a club or stay out all night? No. I want to go to sleep. I wanna go play a game. Watch a movie. I like to travel, but it's too expensive. It is getting expensive. Well, I'm not paying for this one. So I was told that it's actually really so like I'm going to represent the company. And I have to give opening remarks. It's weird. It's like everybody's all tense and stuff. They don't want you to say something that'll set off like a international conflict. It's really weird. It's really weird in the business world right now. Like I don't know. That's what makes karma even better. But yeah, it's really weird. I've not like in the army we would say stuff like that. We'd be like, "Yo, like don't don't offend someone." But now it's like everything is political. Like it's always been political, but right now it's like really, really, really political. Like it's not about laws. It's not about like business. Like before, I used to say stuff like I would always tell people like Wit would know this. Be informed by data. Like if you have your data, you have your number. Like it's not even the numbers. You just have like the data. You understand how you got from point A to point B, why you're trying to do point C. Like you're good. Now the equation has this overall like blah blah blah. And I don't know. Felt that when I traveled to Vegas for a work last. Oh, Antioch, Vegas. See, Vegas would be. That's another one. It's another one. I used to like going to Vegas a lot. Not that I went a lot, but there's an Air Force base out there that I would go to probably a few times a year, and that was fun. But now I'm like, that's like 4 hours. It's like a 4 hour flight. I might as well just go to like Atlantic City to gamble. But it's not that. I go to Vegas now for the magic shows and the buffets. I can't get that at Atlantic City. Can't get that at Atlantic City. I didn't know that this was the month. I'll offer Cuddles Gaming and great home cooking if you want to visit. No bye. I sent you a message on X, Holtz. You are one of the few people I communicate to on X. Simpleton, Inlet from Stadia. I still talk to him on X. Like there's like 3 or 4 of y'all. I'm too old for Vegas. A trip to Vegas would be wasted on me. I'd be at a buffet. Yeah, that's what I just said. The buffet. That's the only reason. Like gambling now. It's like okay, it's the same. It's the same 21. It's the same table of blackjack that I can play in Vegas, in Connecticut, in Jersey, in Montreal. It's the same table. You know what I mean? The hotel we already got past that. Like I have like my bed is the best bed. So threw that one out. Like what else? Like the shopping? Like I don't have money for that right now. Like you know what I mean? Um I don't know. I hopefully the rest of the country does not feel like me. Because if they do, we are for sure in a thing of pain. Because I am not in the mood to be like spending money like that. I'm like, why am I going there? What are we doing? I like to gamble if I know I'll win. That's not gambling any yoke. What would that call if you know you're gonna win? That is called ooh, what would we call that? It's like an investing. That's called I feel like there's probably something illegal there. My brother lives in Cornwall. I like to meet my nephew and see my niece again. It's been then Rabolica, see you have a reason to go. I have no family in there. I have Holt. David Wilson. But to be fair, I've been through the the London airport a few times. I've never been out of the London airport, but I've been through the London airport. So it's cool. I don't want to downplay it. Like I am looking like I've never been to there's a really big department store in London that I've heard a lot about. I've never been. I'm looking forward to seeing what makes that so special or historical. Um and yeah, I guess there's some sights and scenes there that I'm looking forward to. But at the same time, it's like uh, I'm tired. Like I'm tired. I haven't even got on the plane. Well, it ain't London a $2 Great British pounds. Well, ain't London a $2 to get British pounds. It's $2. I don't know. I have my like I said, I'm gonna get my mom something. That's about it. Bro, why haven't you ever left the airport? Because I have this. So I think I said this before. Um, I actually really don't like flying. Not for no other reason than I have when I was young, like when I was like 18 or 19, um, no, I wasn't then. I had to be older than then. I had to be older than that. I had to be like in my late 20s. Either way, I had a situation where I showed up to the airport like an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and a half early. And at that time, they told me, like, hey, like my ticket wasn't going through. And so, like, I was like, why is it not going through? And they were like, well, we didn't think you were coming. So we gave your ticket away. And that was like the last flight that I could get. And it just so happened that this like time of the year was like some holiday or something. And so like I ended up missing that flight because the airline got rid of my ticket. So I had to buy another, and they were like, "Oh, we can get you another ticket, but it's in 3 days." And I'm like, "What the heck? I got to work tomorrow." So I then had to buy like the first ticket out the next morning at like one-way ticket that costs at the time, this is like 25 years, 30 years ago. At the time, it was like $1,000 back then, which is like 3,000 today, right? So that happened. I had to go get a hotel, which was again because it's like a random busy time because they weren't letting people stay at the airport for some odd reason. Like, had to get something else. So, and it was all because like I left the airport to come back into the airport and I was there in enough time, but they gave up the ticket. So now for any time I get a layover, I just stay right at the counter because of that experience. And so that's why when I went to London twice, for sure, I want to say it's the third time, but for sure twice. I flew there, changed planes. One of them was a 10-hour layover, and I sit right at the gate because of that experience. So that's what happened. So I don't like to do it. Rock. Oh, Rebecca, you're from England? It seems like you have a lot of family over there. Purple, I left Florida and I had about 40 minutes of tablets. I literally thought the plane was going down. Really? Thought the plane was going. Oh, that's not good. Airlines are such scams. Yeah, this was like back then. Like I didn't have like just if I had invested that money in Amazon back then, they cost me over a $500 million or $500,000. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't investing like that. But still, like that's the reason why. It's just so much stress. It's not worth it. That's happened to a lot of really Tokyo's the same way. Uh I had a layover in Tokyo for like better part of a day. And uh-oh. Uh-oh. I messed up. Can y'all hear me? Okay, yeah, I'm back. Um, but yeah, no, I had like Tokyo, I had a layover. So that's why I've been to Tokyo, but I've never been to Tokyo. I'm not. My brother married someone from there. Oh, okay, okay, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So what I need to do is get you going back to New York so I can see the Nintendo Switch to and give you your. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be. I'm missing the Switch event. I didn't get tickets. I didn't get tickets, so I'll be watching it with y'all. It's a different mic. That sucks. How about that? Let's see if that works. Let's see if that one works. I don't know. Yeah, it should work because it's saying it's this one now. Okay. But we'll probably be closing it down here pretty soon. Yeah, it's not the main one there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all know if I touch the mic, it does something weird. But yeah. What's this shirt you're talking about? Your crystal polish shirt and just say I give you a Liverpool shirt. We'll see. I don't even know what Crystal Palace is. I just like the name Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace. But yeah, so that's it. Hopefully nothing bad happens. I'm actually kind of nervous about that. The whole airplane stuff happening. I actually am nervous about that. That's probably the most nervous thing I am. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll get stopped in customs. We'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Weird. World's weird. World is weird right now. One of my sisters is semi-independent. What? What? Where did this come from? Who sometimes does contracts with CBC. She moves so often that I can't get. Oh my good. That's super cool. That's super cool. Let us know what films and we'll or you don't have to tell us the name of who she is, but what film she's done, and I'll love to see it. The Tannel? I did not see the Tannel. She flies weekly. Ah, see, that used to be me. Not anymore. Not anymore. Which I'm fine with, as I just told you. Purple, just Google Liverpool Football Club fair shirt. We're winning the Premier League. It's in purple and imagine purple haze on it. What? What? Really? Well, I sent you a message, Holch. You told me to send you a message, so I sent you a message. But yeah, I'm doing stuff. That's what I'm doing. So no shows, no show this Sunday, no show Saturday, no show Sunday. I'm gonna try to have some videos that launch pre-scheduled just on business stuff coming up. And yeah, next Wednesday/Thursday, I'm gonna try to get his name's Roadkill. He's come through chat a couple of times. I'm gonna try to schedule something with him. Most likely that'll be on a Saturday. So trying to get some of these interviews back because those do actually give me a lot of energy just hearing gaming stories. Oh, Nintendo. Nintendo's launching next week. Well, like totally forgot about that. So we have Nintendo, we have South of Midnight. So it's actually a really solid stretch of games that I'm looking forward to launching. And yeah, that's all I have. Was Purple, where did you send me this message? On X. I sent it to you on X. Watch it not be Holtz. Yeah, X. I'll fine, I'll send it to you on Discord. But yeah, that's it. That's it for today. I'm about to go like wash this off. Get Remy a little he's a little sleepy down there, so we're about to go to bed. But with that said, thank you all for coming by. That's all I have for gaming news. Obviously, super a lot of news going on. Thank you all always for coming by. Amy, thank you for the gifted subs. Wit, we will be in contact soon. And Holtz, if we can do something on Sunday, let's do something on Sunday. All right, but with that said, I don't care where you game, how you game, why you game, what you game on, how long you've been gaming. As long as you're gaming, you're good with me. And as always, this is Purple Haze, and the proof is in the plane. And with that, I will say good night. All right, take care, everybody. Burp, burp, burp. Cool song. Cool song. I think so. If I can find it. There it is.